This is just beyond absurd. SEC account hack amplifies concerns over security at Musk's X? What? This whole drama has to do with this post from the official SEC account on X. Today, the SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs. We then quickly found out it was all a scam and that the account was hacked. Somewhat surprisingly, we just learned that SEC actually now has approved Bitcoin ETF proposals. For real. This time. X did an investigation into this whole fiasco, and it turns out that the compromise was not due to any breach of X's systems, but rather due to an unidentified individual obtaining control over a phone number associated with the SEC's account. We can also confirm that the account did not have a two-factor authentication security feature enabled for any important accounts. Please have two-factor authentication enabled. From Bloomberg, internet security has been a priority of the SEC in its regulation of public companies. And yet SEC did not even have two-factor authentication? It's a bit ridiculous. Now, in February of 2023, X made setting up two-factor authentication a bit more difficult. You had to either pay to receive text messages as a way to turn on two-factor authentication, but you could have still used authenticator apps, which are free. It's a bit more work, but it's free. And yet SEC, which creates a lot more work for some companies sometimes due to unnecessary regulations, this agency itself did not have two-factor authentication set up. It's just absurd. Speaking of Bloomberg, Bloomberg has zero incentive to be neutral towards its competitor. This is simply desperation for attention, but I think there's also another simple explanation on top of this. Most companies, when they see competitors struggle, if they can add fuel to the fire, they are going to do it pretty much every single time. It's just that we expect a bit more from the media. We expect better. We expect higher integrity. We expect them sometimes to sacrifice their selfish interests for the sake of the truth. I wish the world was so pure, but it simply isn't. So I'm not really expecting much from these media outlets. Here's some really good news. The wait times for the refresh Model 3 have just gotten longer, so the demand is definitely good. Yesterday, Elon did not post anything about the refresh Model 3, leading to speculations that the refresh Model 3 is going to have a difficult time scaling, perhaps because why would Elon not say anything about it? Maybe because if he did, the wait times would just get so much longer that it wouldn't make sense to even tell anyone about the new Model 3 in the US. But that is not the case, so that's more good news, because this indicates that production should scale pretty quickly in Fremont. Hopefully it will be as smooth as it was in Giga Shanghai. Model 3 delivery dates have been also pushed back in Canada, not just in the US. So while most Tesla stock investors will be happy with this news, some Tesla bears will point out that this could be just like the Model X refresh until delivery start. The dates do not point to anything good or bad. But we already had a really smooth transition in Giga Shanghai, so I think that point from Tesla bears is not really valid this time. Okay, this is pretty big news. Tesla has started sending Cybertruck VINs to regular Foundation Series buyers and not just employees. So Cybertruck all-wheel drive deliveries are imminent. Sawyer blacked out the VIN and the RN, but he confirmed both. This individual lives in California and is not an employee. That's an indication to me that production is going fairly well, so I'm pretty happy about this. And it's not just one person. Sawyer said there are 10 followers of his that have gotten VIN so far, and all of them are not Tesla employees. And yeah, I do see some people posting their VIN numbers on X, so it's definitely happening. As much as I am excited about the Cybertruck, I'm also really excited about the refresh Model 3. Look at all of these improved features. I just filled out a form to schedule a demo drive. I don't think I will end up buying it because I have FSD on the current Model 3, but I will try out the car and then I will let you all know if the car lives up to the hype.